Hello and welcome. My name's Angie Holden and I'm the blogger behind the Country Chic Cottage. In this video, I wanted to talk about the evolution of a craft space because you might see the backdrop behind me and think that's unattainable. I can't afford that. My craft room will never look like that. It won't be as neat and pretty as that behind you. I don't have the space for that. There are all kinds of obstacles, especially when you're first starting out with crafting, that can be hard to overcome. So I wanted to walk you through the evolution of my crafting space so that it helps inspire you that you can start wherever you are and continue to grow your space and make pretty organization if you would like to. Because my space didn't always look like this and it wasn't always picture perfect or video ready. Now I do want to warn you that the early evolutions of my craft space, I only have photos and some of those photos are not very good. So I'm going to do my best to piece together an evolution here for you. However, just bear with me on the early years at least because I do not have any video. So first of all, when you're starting out, you probably start in a corner of a room or with a rolling table that rolls away and you pull it out. You might even craft on your dining room table. When I started out, I had a small corner of our walk-in closet that I used for craft storage. There was also a desk in there. And most often I pulled the things I needed out of there and crafted at the kitchen table. So that's when I started crafting and writing about crafts on my blog. So that corner of my walk-in closet, what did I use in there? I used hand-me-down furniture that we didn't need in other parts of the house. So there was a table that I used as a desk. There was a hutch that we weren't using that went over a desk. Thrifted or found pieces often ended up in that space. So anything that I could do on a budget that would make that space functional. Was it pretty? No. I used what I had and I used the height of the space. Because there wasn't much square footage that I could take over for my crafting, I had to use the height. So we were able to block out those couple of walls, that small corner, and I was able to use the height for what I needed it for. Now that worked for what I had at the time. I was just getting started. I was a beginner crafter. I didn't have any crafting machines. I just got started with what I had and that worked for the storage of those items. Once I started getting into machine crafting, all of a sudden I had Cricut machines and like, what am I gonna do with this Cricut machine? So just a rolling cart in the corner of our living room is sort of what I used. We had a little office space set up there with a desk and I used that space for my Cricut machine as well as storage of things that went with the Cricut machine or as many things as I could store in that small space. So I still had the corner of the walk-in closet. And then I sort of added on just a small portion of our living room with that rolling cart and a few other additional items. So now what happens during the evolution of your crafting space? Of course, you probably outgrow whatever you're using. So you just sort of have to get creative with like, where can I carve out this space and sort of make it work for now for me. At the time, we didn't have any extra bedrooms. We didn't have a guest room, no study or anything. There were no extra rooms that I could take over. So I just started having to take over various areas. So with this, I want to inspire you to think about areas that you could take over that might be small little corners. And also, like, how can you carve those out to make them work for you for now? And make it look at least okay or acceptable and at least be a functional space. And you can always, like I said, just use those spots for storage and pull out and craft on the dining room table, the kitchen table. So finally, at one point, my oldest moved out and moved away to college. So we shuffled bedrooms and I took the smallest bedroom in the house, about a 10 by 14. And at first, I split the room. So at first, I did half of the room as a craft space for me, and the other half I left as sort of a guest bedroom because my daughter was coming back from college regularly and needed a space to stay. So I split the room. That's another option. Is there a room in your house that you could split, like make it a multi-use space? And that's what I did for a while. Again, I didn't have a ton to spend, so most of it was hand-me-down type of furniture. So furniture that she left behind, that she had in her space perhaps, things I could find inexpensively on Amazon, or even if you have an IKEA close, that could be something that you could do. Inexpensive things, thrifted things, things that, you know, maybe friends and family have that they're not using that you can have. Those are great options for that space. Again, as much as the vertical space as you can use is often helpful. Now, this space worked okay for me. I felt like it was a huge step up from where I was, right? So I was in the corner and at least I had a space here where I could work. And I started to film more videos at this time once I had a space where I could do those in. Still wasn't perfect, but I just started with where I was. It was at this point that I sort of realized that the adjacent room to this space, there was a closet in that room that was very underutilized. We weren't really storing anything in there that couldn't either go in another space or couldn't be gotten rid of. So I took that closet over as well. Now, it wasn't actually attached to my crafting space. However, it was close enough in the next room that I could just quickly head over there and grab what I needed. So I turned that into a craft closet. And at first I literally just used the shelves that were in there or added a few more little additional items and used it as a craft closet. That was a really great move on my part. And I couldn't believe that I waited so long in order to do that. So think about things out of context, even if it's not in the same area. So I've made half of this room my craft room, but are there other areas in my home that some of the storage could happen? The crafting doesn't have to take place there, but could some of the storage happen in some of these other places? Once I did that, I really felt like things were looking better as far as me being able to find things. I always had trouble finding things because everything was so chaotic and disorganized. But at that point, things really started to come together. So I would encourage you to really think outside of the box. And, you know, maybe the areas aren't even connected like mine were. I mean, it was in the next room. Maybe they're not even remotely close to each other. But would it really hurt to store those excess things and those craft supplies you don't use that often in, say, even like a basement or an attic, and just access them when you need them? Even like seasonal craft supplies, you could group Christmas items together, and off season when you're not Christmas crafting, you could store those in another area, in another closet, in an attic space, in a basement, something like that, and just pull that Christmas bin out when you're ready to do Christmas crafts. So then eventually, as you may have guessed, I got rid of the guest room portion of this space. This is still that same 10 by 14 room, by the way. So I got rid of the guest room portion of this space and turned the entire 10 by 14 into my craft room. This space has also evolved over the years. First of all, it was just half of this room, then it turned into the whole room, and I also evolved with furniture. Now, some of the furniture, the table that is literally right in front of me, I had from that point where I took over the entire room. My husband built it out of plywood, some 2x4s, and it has been a really great investment for us, and it's what I've used all of these years. There are also some other wood square cube organizers. You can get them at IKEA. The ones I have are from Walmart, a variety of places. Those have lasted me as well throughout the years. They are still in this space. So when you're thinking about craft room furniture, you're probably going to start where you are. You are going to start with the furniture you have, furniture you can get for cheap. Then after that, if you would like to, you can grow into pieces that work better for your space. And I would just encourage you to kind of think about what works best for your space, because I did make a lot of mistakes along the way. So think about what would work best for your space, lay it out on paper, maybe even, lay it out on the floor in the room. Would this work for your space? And then invest in the furniture over time to get your space where you want it to be. So since this space has had tons of different configurations throughout the years, I'm gonna kind of play you a montage of the iterations, and I'll just sort of label them 1, 2, 3, 4 or something. The latest iteration, of course, has the dreambox behind me. However, it didn't always look like this, and I want you to be inspired by that fact to be able to start where you are. So let's take a look at this craft room through the years. So I hope that video really helped you. And yes, 10 by 14 space. Now we talked a little bit about how I took over that closet in the adjacent room. I still do have that closet, so you can see the closet and sort of what I did to that space. And then recently I did add a tiny house to our property. So we have a farm here in Tennessee, and we added a tiny house, and that space has sort of become my laser crafting studio. This space was just not large enough for all the machines that I wanted to use in order to bring you content. So we did add that tiny house, and I do have another video all about that tiny house studio, so you can see that as well. But I hope this entire thing has really inspired you that you don't have to go from nothing all the way to the picture perfect craft room. You can start where you are and with what you can do at the time. You're probably going to be constrained by space or budget at this point in your crafting journey, or both. And that is okay. It is okay to start where you are and sort of grow over time if you would like to. And perhaps where I started, that little corner of my walk-in closet, that might be enough for you forever. That might be all the crafting you want to do, and that is okay as well. It is okay to be happy with what you have. I just wanted a bigger space, of course, to bring you the best video content possible. And I hope that my journey throughout the years of my space helps to inspire you a little bit and start thinking about that craft room that would be the one of your dreams. Now, your dreams, of course, are not going to be the same as mine, so think about the craft room that you would love to have and how you can put that in motion over the course of many, many years. So I started my YouTube channel and my blog in 2010, so this has been an evolution over many, many years, and it probably will be for you as well. So don't get frustrated, don't get discouraged. Use the tips and tricks in Craft Organization Camp to build a craft room or a little small crafting space that you love. So hopefully this helps you. If you have any questions about my space over the years, feel free to drop down in the comment section, ask away. If you like this video and helped you, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, head on over to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. I have videos just like this one every single week, and trust me, you don't want to miss any of those. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.